the one and only sexy mama, LaDonna Raeh.
LaDonna Raeh Show. Hey, guess what? You're tuned into the LaDonna Raeh Show, and I'm your host, LaDonna Raeh. I am so happy about Black History Month being extended to 365 days. That's right. We are no longer highlighting just February. I know that some of you were like, shoot, I was celebrating for Black History Month every day. Well, guess what? Because of our new administration, and even though some of you don't want to give them any credit, I'm going to say this. We're going to say you don't get to tell us that we celebrate only in February or to pull it from the calendars or that Google can no longer say, hey, happy Black History Month. No, we don't need that because we're going to be celebrating anyway. That is why I'm so happy to have our guest on today. Now, before I get into that, I want to just tell you that if you listen to a Black-owned radio station, make sure that you support it. Keep it rolling, and streaming television programs as well. Did you know that Allen Media Group has HBCU GO? That's right. And I just happen to be the voice of the HBCU celebrations for the Brilliance Effect on WVON for the month of February. I was so honored. And now I'm the voice of, or one of the voices of Women's History Month coming up in March on that same station. But to bring you to the excitement that I have, let me tell you why. Because in tying all this together, HBCUs are so important. See, when I had my first set of children, I sent them to a regular university, one of the top. I sent them to the Illinois, or should I say the UIC, all right, because I'm still paying the bills. UIC and U of I. Because we live in Illinois, and I figured, you know what? U of I is one of the top colleges and universities. But even though my older children came out with their degrees, they did not have, there was a larger degree of separation when it comes to having those alumni that pull them in and teach you how to navigate in the corporate waters of being Black in America. You can't get that at a regular university, but you can get that at an HBCU. I did not attend one, but I know many people who did, and they are so, educated, resilient, connected, blessed, if you will, and motivated on taking on the reins of being Black and African American in America. And that's because they had those reins to be passed on to them and those batons that they had to have passed on to them by their brethren. So that brings me to our very special guest. On this episode, we will be talking to a gentleman who just happens to be the president of Allen Media Group. No. I said that wrong. I got excited. He's the president of HBCU GO TV, which is part of Allen Media Group. There you go. I got it right this time. Because when I did my research, I looked and I said, wait a minute. Everybody knows who Byron Allen is, but does everybody know who Curtis Symonds is? He is the co-founder and president of HBCU GO, the go-to media platform bringing live, free coverage of HBCU sports to audiences across the nation. With a career that has earned him a spot on the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame, Curtis has been instrumental in elevating HBCU sports to a national level, ensuring that these talented athletes and historic institutions get the recognition they deserve. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Curtis Symonds. Hi, Curtis.
Hey, LaDonna, how you doing today?
I'm doing extra well, and I'm just grateful that you are sitting on this platform with me to talk about the excitement of HBCU GO TV.
Well, you know, number one, I'm jealous because you're in Chicago. That's one of the cities I lived in for 8 years and loved dearly. And I always tell my wife, if we had a chance to get back, I'd go back. But I miss that city, so you're in the right city.
All right, I'll take it. Well, tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming the president and co-founder of HBCU GO TV.
Well, it's very interesting, LaDonna, because really my journey started right down the street from you in Ohio at Wilberforce University under the tutelage of Central State University, right there in Wilberforce, where my mother taught for 40 years as a teacher. Father worked there for 50 years in the maintenance department. And I graduated from there. My wife graduated from there. My brother-in-law graduated from there. My sister graduated from there. So a lot of growing up on that campus was my tutelage in understanding what HBCUs were all about. And then I was fortunate to stumble into the media business and been in there for 40 plus years, working for Continental Cablevision right in my backyard, then ESPN, and then for BET for 14 years. I really knew that there was a missing window for HBCUs because one of the things that disturbed me more than anything, Donna, was that, I'm living in Virginia now, and so it's more lily white schools in high schools and stuff, but there's very talented African-American boys and girls attending these schools. And when you ask them about HBCUs, have no clue. And then, someone will say, I can't go to an all-black school.
And why do they say that? Do you ever ask them why?
Well, the why is because, number one, they've never touched that. They've never been around that environment. And then you talk to people who didn't attend that are now, in the Middle Ages, they will all say that. No one educated me on what HBCU is all about. They just showed me a piece of paper and said, here's an HBCU. And most people, because of how they were brought up, because you got to remember, majority of were definitely in that middle class. So we weren't going to a school that was predominantly black. So they didn't know what that experience was. So to be put in that environment, just out the clue, well, they weren't used to it. But you put them in there, if you take them there and nurture it, like if you take them to a homecoming and they see all the people around there that look like them and the environment, that changes the whole thinking of why I should come.
Did you
so
go
what
on
I
a
wanted
college
to do
tour?
was,
Well, did you go on a college tour when you
No.
attended before you went to Wilberforce?
No, I didn't do any college tours because I was right there on the campus, so I didn't need any tutelage to tell me where to go.
Yeah.
At that point in time, and I knew that Central State was a good fit for me because I'd seen so many people come through there who did well for themselves. And the one thing that I credit Central State very highly, and most HBCUs, is that it molded me. It molded a lot of people. It certainly molded me. Made me the man I am today, and the fact that it taught me, what it was to be who I am today. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people get lost on because they don't get that early temperature touch that says, here's what you should do when you get out to that next level. And so you don't know what to expect. Where I was well taken care of to be taught, here's the thing you should be aware of, okay? And be you. Don't try to be anybody different, be you. And I got to tell people, and I sit in many board meetings today that predominantly white, I said, listen, my mother taught me one thing, and I will continue to do it, I tell kids every day to do it. A question is never a dumb question. So if I don't understand something, I'm going to question you. I don't care what your title is, And I think that's some of the things that people don't understand. Should I say this in the right room? Should I be in the right room? I don't know. And so once you learn how to come up that ladder, son, then you get a better understanding of where you can go with it. And that's what we need to teach more at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, everyone, you're watching the LaDonna Raeh Show, and I'm here with the co-founder and president of HBCU TV. And make sure you Google it so that you can find it. If you go to HBCUGO.TV, you'll land right on their website because I did my research. But just being able to sit across from you and knowing or having an idea of where HBCU GO TV came from, I would like for you to talk to our audience, especially with your background of attending an HBCU, because I'm one of those people that regret not going to one. It's like I went to DeVry. I went to DeVry University, and where are they now? Okay, that's another story. But it was for the brightest, and that's why I went there. But at the same time, I didn't get that HBCU experience whatsoever. But the vision behind HBCU GO and how it was transformed or how it has transformed the landscape of HBCU sports broadcasting. Can you tell us about that?
Well, yes. I mean, when I was out, when I left BT in 01, and I jumped around a few different things. I ran the WNBA Washington Mystics here. I was president of that in D.C. here for 2 years. But I always had the thinking that I needed to do more in the HBCU circle. So I went on a major drive to get this thing launched because I knew there was a need. I just needed to get some money behind me to make it happen. And you know, most people loved my presentation, but they were shy to write the check. And then after a while, out of the blue, Byron contacted me. We sat down, had a conversation, and he said, Curtis, you know what? I like your vision. I know what you can do, what you're capable of. I'm going to get behind you. And it's not about the money. It's all about what you're doing in the community. And it's been an uplift to see your dream that you feel and want, and now it comes to fruition. I mean, that's something I people tell me all the time. How did you I saw you fighting the wars for so long. How did you hang in there?
Yeah.
I said, listen, today's world, if you have something that's on your mind, you should stay with it. That's how most people make it. You know what I mean? There's going to be some tough times, and you got to learn how to just fight through tough times.
Yeah, so many people give up, and that's it. And for those people, if you're listening and you're thinking about this, for those people that have given up, even if you're one of them, whatever your goal and dream was, no one will ever see it if you give up. And this is living proof right here that you stuck by it. It wasn't easy. Okay?
No,
being
not at
great
all.
is not easy.
No, not at all. I mean, to the point where my wife told me at one time, you need to go to Walmart because you're going to get a job, brother. You know, I don't know how we're going to make it out here.
As a greeter?
Yep, you got it. Whatever was paying, LaDonna, whatever was paying, didn't matter. It was a check coming through the door.
That's right.
You know, but I think that, you know, the one thing that I was blessed with is that, you know, I built a good network through my career. And it's an interesting world when you break away from corporate America, your phone stops ringing a little bit. And as soon as you pop back in corporate America, oh my God, it's back on again. You know, everybody in the world want to come work for you. Everybody in the world got an idea, you know. But the thing about it is that you got to look at how you can help your dream grow. And that's what Byron Allen has helped me do with HBCU GO. I mean, one of the things that he told me early on was, you know, listen, in order to drive this network, we got to get some money in here. So the big thing at that time was black college sports. So let's go after black college sports. Let's control black college sports. So we have 10-year deals with one of the biggest conferences, the SWAC, another big conference, CIAA, another big conference, SIAC, 10-year deals. And we're working on a contract with MEAC, which that's the one, I don't know if you read or heard, that Michael Vick is coming into Norfolk State as a coach of his NFL life, and Deshaun Jackson's coming into Delaware State after his NFL life with the Eagles and the Washington Redskins. So growing that area first, and then concentrating on the other areas that are key: lifestyle of HBCUs, education of HBCUs, career development of HBCUs, financial literacy of HBCUs. Those are some key pillars that moving forward we need to capture so that people can understand the history, the value, the dream, why it makes sense to go to an HBCU. Because when you look at every single HBCU, LaDonna, that's out there, all have a story. And I just left a big meeting with Verizon yesterday when I was saying that they should get behind us and help us storytell the way we want to storytell, because that's a real big piece of the puzzle.
Do you think they're afraid of our storytelling, our form of storytelling?
No, I don't think so. I think it's all about education. As you're educating people to attend HBCUs, you got to educate the world on what are HBCUs. Because, you know, you look at some of the greatest stories that are written today in storytelling around black people. It's not written by black people. It's written by white people. You know, there's no lack thereof. It's all about who can get the finance to the table. When we bring it to the table, it's a different animal. White person brings up a black story to the table. It's the right white person.
Must be great.
They gonna get that capital quick and move on.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the sad part about it. They don't allow us as producers and directors who have been in the culture get an opportunity to really tell the story. They let someone else tell the story who they have to get. They got to read about it. They got to do this. They got to do a lot of homework because they're not sensitized to it. They're not sensitized to it all. Like they can't believe and talk about it out of their head. They got to go read it. And they got to do a lot of research to understand who they're dealing with.
They can't relate because they're not us. Now,
No.
that brings me to another challenge, because when I hear they won't let us, it irritates me. Even when I was younger, it irritated me because who are they to be the gatekeepers?
Well,
If we have our own, and I know that there's the obvious answer of who Hollywood is and who's running this and who's running that, but we can have our own. And it may take a little bit longer. Go ahead and correct me, but I'm so tired of the they.
Yep, no, you're right. The sad part about it at the time, LaDonna, is that like I told when I was getting this network up with Byron, for example. I mean, I told a bunch of athletes, invest some of your millions in here. Okay, you're going off here giving $2-3 million. This person, that person, this person. Invest in this, and let's try to figure out how we can grow HBCU GO. Be a true trailblazer. Don't talk about it like, oh, we need to do more of HBCU, but you're not really backing the HBCUs like it should be. So let's invest. I told Verizon yesterday, I said, we need to grow HBCU. Why don't we have a giant Verizon banner out there saying you're going to support HBCU GO? And put your money where your mouth is. We all use the technology on a regular basis. We're probably the biggest ones. But what are you going to do to help tell that story? How are you going to partner with them? And that's kind of the biggest thing that we got to grow over the next few years. Continue to work on, because you got people out there. It's about getting them to believe strongly, where the product is and why at the end of the day, and that's what we got to do a better job at.
I totally agree. And we got to start now. It's not like, oh, well, we haven't started, so let's not even get started. Let's still try to infiltrate and integrate and all of those things. I'm just tired of it. For instance, I just talked to my son. He's a sophomore. And instantly, I gave him a list of the HBCU colleges. Talked about what their specialties were, what their funding looks like, what it looks like to even pay to get him there if the scholarships don't roll in, because a lot of them been rolled back. Okay,
right.
But we still got to go. We can't depend on that. We still have to go.
Right.
And just being, he's a legacy child of Texas Southern University. His three aunts, his three aunts went there. His father went there. Texas Southern University is high on my list. So now I'm talking to him about, we're going on this college tour, and we're going to check out 3 to 5 colleges. Now that's going to be a little pricey, but we got to get there. I need him to see what he wants to be.
And that's the best thing for you. You need to get him on the campus.
Yeah.
You need to get him in an environment where he can see the real school. Don't go there when spring break and all that other's gone, when there's nobody on the campus. Go there when people are there, so he can see people who look like him. He can sit down and they can tell him why they came to Texas Southern and what it means to them to be part of Texas Southern. He needs to hear that, because if you take him on a blank sheet and he just walks on the campus and all,
another school.
They got one person just walking around showing you, well, this is building such. No, that ain't gonna fly. That ain't gonna fly.
Yeah,
that ain't gonna fly. Because he's not gonna see the true environment, and you got to put your son in the true environment so he can feel it. That HBCUs are all about the feel.
Ooh.
It's all about touch and feel.
Ooh, if I could go back, I might go with him.
Exactly.
I wish I could.
Yeah. You're many that would have said, if I would have known,
then
I never would have gone this route. I would have went another route. Because you can't enjoy your homecoming the way I can enjoy my homecoming in Central State. Because there's no homecoming where you're at. You might get a sprinkle of people showing up. And you might not even know half of them.
Right.
Where a majority of the homecomings in HBCUs, you know a lot of people because you've been around, and you congregated so much and met so many people from different genres that you connected and you stayed connected even when you finished the campus. That's the beauty to me of HBCUs. you stay connected after you finish school because of that bonding it brought to you while you were there.
Exactly
You
my
know,
point.
and
Yeah.
it's unique. It's very unique.
Exactly my point. It's you have to grow into the man or woman you're gonna be.
Right.
And a lot of times we imitate what we see, but you have to see what you want to be. And I'm not even trying to rhyme here, but this
Right.
is just key. It's oh my gosh, there's another E. But it has to happen. Gone are the days of, mom and dad telling you, okay, this is what you should do. These
Right.
children are more expressive, they're more
Yep.
explosive, and
Yep.
they need to be able to see another opportunity. They need to see
Right.
another option.
Right.
set
And see,
some
you got
goals.
and see, like one of the things where now you're gonna be dealing with is you're gonna be dealing with a son who's lived in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you're taking him out of that city to a majority of HBCUs are in the rules. And that's a different world, because now you got to figure stuff out every day.
Hey.
It's not like I'm going around the corner, I'm going to the shop. All right. No. It ain't like all that. Okay. And that's one of the things that's a big adjustment for a lot of young people coming out of high school because they've been in a certain area and they've been used to this treatment. And then all of a sudden they walk out here on their own, even though they'll have friends, they'll meet, but they're on their own. And now they've got to develop some things outside of the normal.
Yeah, the normal.
And that's a big thing.
Oh,
That's a big
well,
thing.
look, I'm telling you, my first set of children, I cried when they left. This set, I'm going to be like, wow, bye,
Yep.
figure it
Yep.
out.
Yep.
But not in a bad way, not in a malicious way. It's just that they have been exposed to so much social media that shows them that that it's so easy.
Yep.
But I think that we can only give them so many tools, and then they need to move on from that. But going back to HBCU Go, you mentioned something earlier. You said there's a wraparound when it comes to HBCUs. There's the finances, the literacy, the career choices. But if we go back to HBCU Go, this is mainly focused on the sports or the athleticism of the HBCUs. And
Well, it's just keep this in mind.
mm-hmm,
It's focused right now on the sports to make money, keep us
okay,
alive.
all right,
Okay, that's the quick fix. Okay, but the long term is to build up the lifestyle, the cultures, because my preach to my staff is we broadcast culture, but we live culture.
mm-hmm,
Okay, so we've got to show people more why these schools are important. For example, and you probably didn't know this. Fayetteville State in Fayetteville, North Carolina, has the biggest ROTC program in the country, and they offer veterans who have been in the war, been in the military, free school.
mm.
A lot of people don't know that.
No,
You got an opportunity to go to a school that has an ROTC program. Go to the ROTC program, set yourself up to go into service, make money,
mm-hmm.
and then if you go to service first, you come back, you got a free education. So you
Why-
don't lose at all at the end of the day.
See,
You
you're
got it
doing
twofold.
you're doing a marketing campaign here that needs to be done. Like,
Well, I mean,
I
that's
think
the
we
key.
whisper that we
That's the key. I mean, because
Yeah.
people don't know.
right.
And people are so. It's like I got to ask the question yesterday on a Black History panel in New York, where what does HBCU Go do for Black History Month? I said, let me clarify something for you. and you said this earlier.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
I'm HBCU every day,
24/7.
365.
Yeah.
I've been that way ever since I was born. 1 month is not the cure. Okay, 1 month is not the cure. There's a lot of missing pieces in 365 days a year. Okay, but we've been sensitized to constantly think that we got to bring up Martin Luther King on February, we got to bring up Jackie Robinson on February, and that's about it. And that's exactly what they preach in the schools.
Mm-hmm.
They don't tell you about it. I read up on a young lady the other day that I threw out yesterday in this panel. A girl,
You said you threw her
basketball
out.
player by the name of Lucia Harris,
Okay.
who was 3-time Olympian. No one knew about it. Only Black woman drafted in 1977 by the Utah Jazz in New Orleans. She didn't try out because she was pregnant.
Mm.
But a lot of people don't know her story.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know her story.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes around until for many that don't know many more stories that are in HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
That, we have more, techie out there because of North Carolina A&T. We have more nurses out there because of Hampton. We have more lawyers out there because of Howard and the medical area. A lot of people don't know that. They don't know that. And they don't spend time trying to understand that point. But that's a big point at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. We need to see those examples. Guys, you're watching the LaDonna Raeh Show. I am hosting with, or should I say, my special guest today is Curtis Symonds. He is the the president and the co-founder of HBCU GO TV, which is part of Allen Media Group. Okay. So just in looking through the content that you have on HBCU GO TV, where I was going earlier was to ask about the expansion of those wraparounds when it comes to HBCUs, but you answered it. Right now, it's about athleticism and the culture of the game, the bands. Oh, we love the music. We love the culture. We love seeing it, but that is pretty much all the outside knows looking in.
Right.
But you are looking to bring it more to fruition about the entire wraparound culture.
No question.
We
have to.
Yeah, it's
We have
beyond
to. We're only
that.
giving you right now a slither.
Huh.
And a slither is not enough.
Yeah.
When you talk about HBCUs. You
Mhm.
got to give more of the total picture. Why? What's the why factor here? Why should I go to Central State? Why should I go to Texas Southern?
Mhm.
Here's the why factors. Why you should attend. And here's what you get out of it. When you hear from a student saying, I came to Texas Southern because I lived in Florida, had no clue of it. Finally, somebody turned me on to it because I had a friend of a friend of a friend that went to Texas Southern, and I'm here now.
Mhm.
And it's been some of the best I've ever known because I've been around people who look like me.
Yeah.
And I've been around professors who are teaching me how to be me.
Yeah.
And how to deal
you.
with the real world.
Right, a better you. Yeah. I like that. And you also get to channel emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Based on what has worked. This is a ground for practice.
No question.
But good practice with good tools.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you got to look at it. You got to take it in the mind, LaDonna, is that put yourself as, you're manufacturing something. So you're manufacturing a new LaDonna. So when I put LaDonna into Texas Southern, I got to bring her from the shoes up to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I got to manufacture her in a way that LaDonna knows step by step by step by step on how she can be a better LaDonna.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what we want to craft out at the end of the day, how HBCUs can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
Goes back to the old saying, almost like the service. Be the best you can be. HBCUs.
Be all you can be. I remember those commercials.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Bottom line. But see, the problem we have out here in Black America is that no one has enough, that's what I told Verizon yesterday, no one has enough money to market to this audience the right way. That's the problem. You always have to hear about word of mouth or parent or generation, blah, 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 but no one's out there pushing the needle hard, like, here's why you should go to HBCUs. And we got to get corporate America to spend a little bit more commercial time, not just talking about themselves, but talk about how they can connect with the HBCUs in the communities and how they can help grow it to make their product better in our communities.
Yeah, community outreach is important because without community outreach, the community doesn't really know you exist.
No question.
They know that that's a location, maybe an establishment or an institution, right, but they don't know how what does it have to do with me? What's in it for me? You
right.
have to do that.
Right.
Now, I know that 2025 basketball season and key matchups, you've been focusing on 10 rivalries that are featured this season. Now,
Yes.
when we think about the rivalries, I think about, well, it's football for us in Chicago, where we just don't like the Wisconsin. Why can't I remember them? Because they've been the Cheeseheads. Okay, we just
Oh,
never.
you talking about Green Bay
Thank
football
you.
team?
Look, they are so far from my mind because I'm like, no, I just can't say Green Bay. But because of our rivalry with them, we think about violence, if you will, because
Hmm.
that has happened. But is this friendly rivalry? Is this
Yes,
friendly
very much so.
rivalry this
Very
season?
much so. It's all friendly rivalries.
Yeah.
You don't see many big time fights and stuff break out in the HBC. So the rivalries are really from city to city. You get like Alcorn State against Jackson State. It's 20 minutes apart.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing,
Yeah.
and they attract a great audience for it. We just did Albany State against Fort Valley. You're talking about a 60-minute drive.
Yeah.
So it's all about the goodness, because at every game, football, basketball, whatever it may be, it's a showcase.
Mm-hmm.
It's a showcase of the sororities. It's a showcase of the alumni. It's a showcase of the students. It's a showcase of the players because they want to win.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you have. That's the picture you're painting. And the rivalries bring out that, because it's like I told this Verizon group yesterday. Everyone has a yard. Now, everyone will say, I have the best yard, because the yard is where you build your reputations
Mm-hmm.
at a university. So it's the same way in the rivalries. That's how
Yeah.
strong they are.
Not
Because
fights
it's
in the
meaningful.
yard, parents. Just the yard.
Oh, yeah, just the yard. And the rivalries are big. Like my rivalry at Central State was Kentucky State. Anytime we played football, basketball, because they were an hour and a half up the road, it was a madhouse. That game was always, if you didn't lose any game, that was the game to lose,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what the record was. Okay, so rivalries are good. Rivalries are very good, and I think we're
It's a
trying to
good
get better
competition.
at it.
Yeah.
And working with the conferences to showcase those rivalries, because they're growing now, and now they're being put on a national stage. So
Mhm.
now it even gets bigger at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness for Women's History Month, and you guys are doing an all-female broadcast team
Yes, we
on the
are.
historic March 8th game featuring
Yes,
all
it'll be
women.
Jackson State against Mississippi Valley at Mississippi Valley.
Who are the trailblazers behind this broadcast?
Well, you have Nina Simone, you have Jasmine, you have Nicole, and then you have Laurencia, who are great trailblazers.
Mm-hmm.
They've done ESPN. It was so good before, when we tested it, that ESPN picked them up for the CIAA for sample that's airing this week. They had them last year. They had some of the girls last year. So we felt for women's month, in our last basketball game, we would feature them in that game, because I think it's very groundbreaking. You have a lot of, now women's sports is really taking a gigantic lift. I ran the WNBA Washington Mystics here in DC for 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and we were in 05 through 07, and we weren't even on the map at that time. And there was great players then.
Yeah.
But now it's really lifted up, because a lot of great college players has come through and really made a difference in the pros.
Yeah.
It really generalized that.
And I want to say shout out to Brittany Griner, because she really did take one for the
Oh, yeah.
team and brought
Yeah.
a lot of awareness to women's basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's other sports. There's so many good sports now, from soccer
Mm-hmm.
to golf, tennis, that are bringing out. You look at Coco and tennis. They're just great at the end of the day, which are making people now look at. I need to train my daughter to be a tennis player. I need to train my son to be a better golfer.
Yeah.
At a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's beautiful, because you're seeing. The one thing I got told a group yesterday is that our culture is alive. People might say, well, I'm gonna do stuff with Hispanic, but our culture is the living proof of, you want to do something like what you're doing. Bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how we are. Just how we carry ourselves. Because we create the mousetrap. We create the cheese that everybody wants to get trapped. we create the mindset that I gotta wear this because of this. I gotta wear the Jordan shoes because it's Jordan. So we have created the mindset
We're trendsetters.
all the
Period.
way,
That's
at
right.
all ages, from 50 on down.
Yeah. Let's not forget that $1.8 trillion that we put into the economy.
Bottom line.
So
Bottom line.
HBCU GO's cultural influence. And you spoke about corporate sponsorships or partnerships earlier. Now, I know the P&G's This Is How We HBCU. I think, did I
That's
say it right?
it. HBCU.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
This Is How We HBCU campaign. And you were featuring 2 Chainz and Pretty
Yep.
V.
And Pretty V.
You've got brands like Tampax, Swiffer, Bevel, and Old Spice engaging with HBCU students and alumni.
Well, because they're trying to get to that 18 and 24 audience. And you just touched on it with the buying power. If you capitalize 107 universities and the buying power just with that group, it's a big number. So why wouldn't you want to be on those campuses, spreading your product? Because they are the trailblazers. They are the ones that's going to help you put it on the map. So P&G, in their brilliance, said, I need to get with a network like HBCU GO, who's up and coming. They're in the infant stages, and build something with them. I mean, the biggest thing I take my hat off to them is that I wanted to do a HBCU kickoff show around our football, which ESPN does, ESPN Game Day, which is big for ESPN. Well, P&G put it together for me for 6 games, and it was great. We had a great pregame show right before our games, which was unbelievable. And that's because they believed in the brand and how the brand can make things move. And that's really what it's all about. I have some really good visionaries in P&G who have really stepped up to support us.
And you need that backing.
Oh, all the way.
That backing can be the fuel.
All the way. I mean,
when I was at
BT, it was Budweiser. Budweiser came in and said, we're going to do a 10-year deal with you, and here's what we're going to spend. They were the biggest advertiser we had on BT at the beginning. Because they saw it, and it benefited them down the road. They hung in there. Because as I was telling the group yesterday on the advertising side, don't judge me for just a one-off. Judge me for the fact that how I grow the loyalty of your business. Then come back and tell me I didn't do my job. Okay? But too many times in our community, everybody wants to one-off and saying, oh, well, I didn't get what I needed. Well, you only did it one time.
Right.
You didn't get the people really engaged in understanding what was the methodology of what your thinking was.
Yeah.
And once you get that feeling and you get that loyalty feeling within our audience, it's going to grow. It's going to grow. So that's one of the things I think we as a collective culture need to work on. Because we get...
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I was saying, do you think that they have this instant gratification bug?
Yes, they do.
That's just
they
not
do.
good sense.
They do. And we're the only ones. We're the only ones. We're the only ones who get judged like that. Because, we're, like I told folks yesterday, come out to one of my games. Don't judge me by what you see. Come out to the game live and just see what the environment's like. And I guarantee you're going to come home saying, damn, that's an active crowd. I didn't see all that while I was watching the game. But that's the education that we got to, in the circle of many things we got to do.
Yeah, we got a long list of to-dos, and
you got a monster list of to-dos.
I think that your decision or your team's decision coming together, bringing 2 Chainz and Pretty V and all of the other influencers will help with the collaboration process and bringing more visibility to the
Well,
HBCU
I think
culture.
you're exactly right. I mean, you're already starting to see, like on the athletic side, the swing of more NFL players becoming coaches in the HBCU circle. The latest being Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson. Those are 2 big names.
I'm so happy for him.
Yes.
So happy for him.
Yes. Everyone
Come on,
should
let
be.
the dogs go, okay? It happened.
I mean, this guy got beat up. Now, I mean, I'm a big time dog lover.
Yeah, me
but he
too.
got beat up. for dogs.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, to where the man damn near lost everything in his life. Over.
But not to get off topic, because it's so easy when things happen to our people.
Right.
The rug is pulled so quickly for us.
Yep.
Some people they pull it just a little bit. Us, it's yanked.
Yep.
And for dogs or for anything, but it's
right.
This man could have volunteered at PETA and went through a rehab program and been back on the block. But they love taking the career, the ability to earn money has to go. I know some doctors, and I'll swing back to HBCU Go TV. I know some doctors, or a doctor specifically, that lost his license to practice forever and a day, because there was some mole that was planted in his practice and decided to report a technicality on paperwork several times intentionally. This man has his whole career of practicing medicine and doing good by the people, or by his should I say his not customers. It's what, Wednesday? His patients. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's definitely Wednesday.
It was taken away from him. But I'm so happy to see that Michael Vick is back in the swing of things. And that was interesting. Yeah, that was so interesting to see. You've secured long-term media partnerships with CIA or CIAA.
You mean with the conferences? We have 10-year deals with SWAC, Southwestern Athletic Conference. That's the big dog. That's the number one conference out there. We have a 10-year deal with CIAA, which starts their basketball tournament. They have a big basketball tournament in Baltimore starting today, and then with the SIC, it will start their basketball tournament next week. So we've got 10-year deals, and we're trying to work on doing our last one with the MEAC, which has Michael Vick and Deshaun in that conference. So we have a good handle on Black college sports right now.
So now that you have those partnerships, those media partnerships, what does that mean for the future of HBCU?
Well, it means that, like, for example, just with those 3 conferences, we have over 4,000 events. When you look at, golf, tennis, softball, bowling, all the other things that come in the spring and summer. And that's a great environment to be in, to have that many. So our goal is to figure out more distribution spots that we can put some of this programming, and then we can try to break it off and work on the lifestyle, the education, and other things that we want to try to develop too.
Wow. Look, I'm in, okay? If there's anything Chicago can do for HBCU GO TV, I'm in, okay?
You got it.
So for fans who want to tune in and stay connected, where they can watch HBCU GO TV games and follow updates, did I give the right website? Are there other places they can go to find you guys?
Yeah, I'm going to have it. I'm not really good, I'm sorry, LaDonna, I'm sorry, on the website, but I'm going to have Tasha send you over that information so you have it.
Okay.
But we do have our social is very strong now. It's really popping.
Okay.
And so she'll send you the links where people can go to social and find us.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Well, Mr. Curtis Symonds, this has been such an insightful conversation.
It's been great.
Thank you for the work that you're doing to uplift HBCU sports and culture on a national level.
I just want to say thank you very much, and hope your son finds the right spot. Hope Texas Southern's a good spot, and there's many others out there. Tell him to look if they can find the right one, and he can also come to Central State. He's right down the corner from Central State. A lot of Central State alumni in Chicago.
I'm gonna hit you up.
That's no problem. That's no problem. But thank you very much, though. Please spread the word for me.
You're most welcome. Don't get off. I need you after this is over. Okay. Give me two more seconds. All right. Well, this is what I got for you guys. I want to make sure that you know that you can go to HBCU GO TV, and that's .tv, so that you can watch the programming that has been put together for you, so that you can share it with your friends, your family, your nephews, your nieces, and everyone else that's thinking about supporting Black media. That's important, okay? Because when we turn away, we all watched Kendrick Lamar. That's great. But that was not on a Black network, but there is Black network television available. You can also go to the Griot and Local Now and more. So make sure you follow at HBCUGO.TV on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, and stay in the loop. And it was such a pleasure talking to Mr. Curtis Symonds. It's not Symonds. For those of you that just insist on saying that, don't do it. I'm warning you. But he is highlighting HBCU GO's mission and the importance of representation in sports, media, and upcoming games. So make sure you stay tuned with that. And I want to thank you for watching the LaDonna Raeh Show. I'm your host, LaDonna Raeh, and you know what that means. It's time for us to get on out of here. Bye-bye for now. Peace.
The one and only sexy mama, LaDonna Raeh.